So we're set to go here.
Okay.
The ring is just about cleared. Tony Weeks has called the two fighters in, and we're ready to go. There's Terence Crawford, the undefeated fighter from right here in Omaha, and he has this city abuzz, I assure you.
Okay. Okay, gentlemen, you both
Brown
received your
absolutely
instructions
loves him as we
in
listen to Tony.
Okay. He goes right here is okay. Anything below that's low. Right here is okay. Anything below that's low. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Let's go.
Tony Weeks, one of the very best referees in all of boxing from the state of Nevada. Patricia Morse-Jarman from Nevada. Julie Letterman from New York, New Jersey area. And Nelson Vasquez from Puerto Rico. All the three judges in this fight tonight. Terence Crawford, Dierry Jean, the WBO Super Lightweight Championship of the world at stake. Crawford in the black and orange, and in the black and red, Dierry Jean. Jean starts out trying to touch him up with a jab to get things going here. Jean looks like he wants to be explosive, although he waits, and it looks like Crawford, you know, he likes to feel his guy out. He likes to give feints in the first round. He likes to take his time to get started, and all because he's so smart in the ring. A little bit short now with his jab, just testing where he has to be. Testing his positioning where he has to be against Jean. Jean has decent hand speed as well. Trying to reach downstairs. Significant advantage in that there's an 1.5 inch advantage in height for Crawford and a little bit advantage in reach. But in spite of the fact that Dierry Jean is only 5'6.5", he's got a 71-inch reach, which is very long for a guy that short.
Mentioned Terence Crawford being a quote-unquote slow starter, and that's many people do knock him for that, but you get the sense that he's just figuring out his opponent and seeing which way, you know, he switches orthodox to southpaw, and just kind of getting the timing right, and when his corner tells him to turn up or to turn it on, he just flips that switch and it's on from there. But Dierry Jean will look to get off to a faster start because, as they said in the meetings, Colonel, they think he maybe can steal a couple of these early rounds because of how Terence starts.
Well, all that's very true, and to this point, Dierry really hasn't done that. I mean, he came out with a decent jab through the first jab of the fight, but he hasn't landed anything. And as you pointed out, and it's very true, that Crawford is getting his positioning down. He's maneuvering himself. He's getting into position to see what he can do with this guy, because Jean, as you'll notice, folks, is very quick on his feet. So, you know, Terence might have a little problem catching up with him with a jab. Nice counter punch by Jean, one of the few punches that's landed in this round. And already 2 minutes gone in round number 1 of the fight. And not a lot of engagement here in round number 1, a lot of positioning. Crawford tries to work downstairs. Not a lot between them in terms of scoring of this first round of the fight. And you hear people say, "Come on, Bud." They're talking about Terence Crawford. Everybody, all his friends call him Bud. That's what he's known as. Now here's Crawford turning around and fighting from the southpaw stance, and he can do that. You've heard me criticize guys that do that, but this guy has the ability to do it, and he trains that way. Jabbing with the right hand, right foot forward. But he's just testing, as Christina said he would, everything that he can do in this first round. Oh! He drops Jean with a right hand at the very closing seconds of round number 1, which was a fairly even first round. All of a sudden, Crawford puts a stamp on it, and it's a 10-8 round. That was going to be a difficult round for judges to score. And the bell ends round number 1 as Jean is able to get up. So Crawford brings the sparks and lights this crowd right up with a right hand at the end of round number 1.
Sí, qu'est-ce qu'on fait?
Dierry felt that power, no question about it.
It looks like he asked which one was it, which hand was it, because I don't think he even saw that shot.
No, he didn't see it,
coming.
and that's the one that hurts you, the one you don't see. We get ready to go to round number 2, but we show you the punch. Watch this. He's in the southpaw stance, the chopping left hand, and the right hand behind it. Boom, the right hand.
It was the left Right. Boom.
Yeah. But that was from the southpaw stance, and you remember what I said, folks? This guy trains that way. He can fight southpaw or right-handed. 2 fights ago, he fought almost the entire first half of the fight southpaw. So here we go, round number 2. Crawford stays southpaw to start round 2. Jean gives him that left shoulder in. Crawford continues to jab with the right hand, meaning he's in the southpaw stance. That makes his left hand his power shot, and he has equal power whether he's orthodox or right hand. But he surprised Jean in the very closing seconds of round number 1 with a left hand and a right hand, both that caught him and dropped him. And that was a very close first round, but Crawford certainly stole the round, no question. Dropping him gives him a 10-8 first round. Maybe
he wanted to silence all those people that have been calling him such a slow starter. That's a quick first round knockdown for him. And even though it was a close round, I mean, shoot, had he waited 5 more seconds, we would be sitting here maybe even giving the round to Jean.
Yeah, well, I could see some of the judges giving it to Jean. Crawford wasn't that overwhelming in the first round until he dropped him. But that's Bud Crawford. Guys has extraordinary ability. And obviously very good power, 18 knockouts and 26 victories. Stays southpaw for this entire round so far, halfway through the second round. He was successful with dropping Jean in the first round with it. Jean just not able to get any offense going against the southpaw stance of Terence Crawford. And you probably heard me criticize guys that are right-handed fighters that turn around and fight southpaw, and their lack of ability to be accurate, that they get hit more, but not this guy. This guy's got that kind of ability.
And he just does it seamlessly. He's as effective either way.
That's it. Jab is very, very powerful in this southpaw stance, and then he's jabbing with his right hand. Looking to catch with his left hand. Jean carrying his left hand down. Right now, I think that Crawford, maybe ought to switch around and fight orthodox so he could bury that left hand over the shoulder and then drop his right hand. But he stays the way he's doing it because he's able to get the jab in with Jean holding his left hand down. Now, Jean has pretty quick hands, but he can't outquick Crawford, who now comes with something a little bit different as he turns the thumb outside with his front hand and comes with an uppercut. Jean has to be frustrated by what happened at the end of the first round, because there hasn't been a lot to separate him in this round, except that Crawford has landed more punches than Jean has been able to land. And here it is again. Had him off balance again. The bell ends, and that puts an exclamation on it again inside of 2 or 3 seconds at the end of the round. But the crowd here, too, loves the fact that he's from this town. It's the pride in Omaha.
And it's great. He sits in with the people. He's not in a box. He's not ringside. He's right in the middle with the crowd where he loves to be.
And this is round 3. The Colonel Bob Sheridan with Christina Punch. You're watching Top Rank Boxing here, live from the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska. That's the champion, Terence Crawford, with his back to you, and Dierry Jean to the left of your screen now with his last name on the front of his trunks. Crawford back fighting as an orthodox fighter in this round. He fought the entire second round as a southpaw. Let's see if he's, well, now he's back fighting against the southpaw.
Well, in his last fight, which was his first at 140 against Thomas Delorme, he fought that whole fight orthodox, and now he comes out right away in the southpaw position. And Dierry Jean, maybe to prove a point, he talked about, oh, I sparred with Manny Pacquiao, I brought in plenty of southpaw and orthodox fighters, and Terence is like, I've beaten 2 of his sparring partners already, so he could just be a third. He had no concern about him being in there with Manny Pacquiao in terms of sparring.
But Jean talked about his jab had to be effective, and he's not even jabbing. He's holding his hand out there like this, which lets the left hand of, especially in the southpaw positioning, Crawford just sort of feigning and fading with that hand, and then he goes for hard shots upstairs. Doesn't really land one, but you get the idea he can and will. But Jean, offensively, not able to do much at all with Terence. So, I mean, they talk about Crawford in his offense, but he's such a good defensive fighter as well. He just has all the tools for a fighter.
you know, Dierry Jean has a game plan until he gets hit in the mouth. Then it can go out the window. And you talked about jabbing, working off the jab in boxing, but as you mentioned, not much of that so far tonight.
Well, the other thing, if you're going to beat a guy in a southpaw stance, you've got to be able to throw the right hand down the middle. And so far, all he seems to be doing is jabbing a lot. Dierry's got to let go with that right hand. Try to catch Bud Crawford with something with the right hand while he's in this stance. And that's his power shot for Dierry. Remember, Dierry has only one loss. This Crawford, you get the idea, he's just kind of toying with him. He's waving the right hand around, trying to get in position, blast him downstairs with the left hand. I mean, Crawford isn't doing anything spectacular now, except that he's spectacular in the way he fights. You know, he's just winning the round.
You know, you talked about Dierry Jean just having one loss. That loss came at the hands of Lamont Peterson in a tough fight. But look, what did he say to us in the meeting? I was only sober for 1 month before that fight.
Well, he said he's totally physically and mentally prepared for this fight, and he well may be. But so far, I would say 80% ineffectiveness against Bud Crawford. He landed a right hand, and he's got to throw more of those. He's got the right idea and force Crawford to going back into his orthodox stance. Not that that's going to help him much, but at least he can take advantage of throwing the right hand down the middle. But it's Crawford who picks up the pace after he gets stopped. And that one right hand down the middle isn't enough to give him the round. All right, round number 4. Again, I have a score 30-26 with the knockdown in the first round. At the end of the first round, and we move to round number 4 here at the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska. Terence Bud Crawford remains southpaw. He fought the first round in the southpaw stance, and he's been that way almost all the rest of the way. In fact, most all the rest of the way he's been southpaw. So he's decided to throw a curveball at Dierry Jean. Jean trying to land the right hand down the middle, but the hand speed of Crawford is significant and is causing him problems. There's the right hand. He's just got to keep throwing him, but he's got to land some sooner or later. Remember, there's not a lot of difference, even though there's a difference in height, there's not a lot of difference in reach. So Jean should be able to get that right hand back, but Crawford has the ability to jab with his right hand when he's in the southpaw stance and hold his chin back, so when the guy tries to counterpunch him with the right hand down the middle, which is the way to beat a southpaw, he's having trouble hitting him. I mean, he's thrown it, I would say, a half a dozen times, as Jean, but he's not landing it. And that's because of the defense of Crawford. Crawford just so totally relaxed out here with this guy. Every time I watch him, Christina, I just think I just see him better and better. 2 solid shots landed by Bud Crawford. Jean able to gobble him up, and that's conditioning. But Crawford is landing more solid shots than is Dierry. And there's a hard right hand again. Remember, that's the jabbing hand when he's in this southpaw stance. So he has power in both hands. Crawford continues with the assault, and he rocketed him another shot and bounced him up against the ropes with that right hand.
Yeah, it's almost like he paused. It's like almost like his jab is his left hand, and then he comes strong with that front right hand. That's so dangerous.
Yeah, and it's like a piston, Christina. Look at this. Bang! The head snaps back. Chops him again. Here's Crawford turning it up a notch. Trying to come in and trying to drop this guy now in round number 4. Right above us. Jean's legs are fine as he skips away and stays away from Crawford, but very rarely does Dierry Jean get off first, and very rarely does he come in. He has all the movements. He's an excellent fighter too, but the ability of Bud Crawford and the condition that he's in for this fight, people were trying to get him to talk about a Pacquiao fight, but he said, no, I'm just concentrating on Jean, and that's what he should be doing for this fight. Another very good round for the champion, Terence Crawford, as the bell ends round number 4. Here it comes. Take a look at this. Look at these. These are hard shots there. This is the early portion of the 4th round.
Oh, et on revient avec la
I've got it scored 40-35 after 4, giving Crawford all arounds. And the first round, of course, was a 10-8 round, as Jean was knocked down in the very closing seconds of round number 1. We move to round number 5. This is a world championship fight. It's scheduled for 12 rounds, but Crawford remains as a southpaw. Was it 2 fights ago that he fought almost the entire fight as a southpaw? And now, with the exception of the first round, he's been southpaw all the way. That's a trip. And Tony Weeks right on top of it. And that's the first time we've seen, you got to position yourself outside the front foot when you're fighting a southpaw. And Dierry Jean has had plenty of sparring with southpaws and was ready for this, but he has no answer for it still. Doesn't matter how much you spar, you're not fighting a world champion when you're in a sparring session most of the time. Although he did have some rounds with Pacquiao. Crowd getting a little bit antsy for Bud Crawford to turn it up and take this guy out. But this guy's a master boxer. You get plenty of power, but most of his knockouts come as a result of accumulation of punches. Jean finally gets something downstairs. Dierry back on his heels, trying to slide away and figure out what he can do with this guy. And the answer to it is throw more right hands, do some right hand leads with his southpaw style. But he slings his right hand and he doesn't catch it. You got to really commit to the right hand. Yeah, that's all right. He got a bit of him that time and a bit of him that time. And that's what Dierry Jean has got to do if he's going to be real competitive in the scoring with Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford sets up in front of him, swinging the hand around. So relaxed for this fight. Things are just going Terence Crawford's way. This guy's an excellent, excellent boxer.
Well, it's like he's telegraphing his punches a little bit as Dierry Jean, just straight in, straight out every time with the right.
He's trying to get in position, but Crawford controls the position for seeing as you see. Right here in the corner. Tries to get out of the corner, and Terence turns up the pressure on him. Every time that Jean does anything, even slightly, Crawford just outshines him. Look at this series of punches. 3 jabs, a left hand shot on the inside. Jean clipped him with a shot in there, but Terence able to gobble it up. That's another thing. Crawford can take a shot. He doesn't take many, but he can take a shot when he gets hit. Hasn't had to take many in his career, and at age 28 now, that's what he wants to do, is not get hit. Late great Angelo Dundee coined the expression, hit and don't get hit. That's what it's all about. Well, there are times that Jean looks like he wants to be real aggressive. It's the inability to do anything with his jab and total lack of ability to land his right hand over the course of a fight. And that's what Crawford is doing. He's just breaking this guy down now. As we move to round number 6 at the CenturyLink Center here in Omaha, Nebraska. Colonel, along with Christina, we're thrilled that you can be with us in Top Rank Boxing. But Terence Crawford in his first defense of his WBO Super Lightweight Championship that he won last time out. This is his 5th championship fight in a row. Obviously, he's won them all.
He's got the orange and black tonight. I asked him, is that for Halloween? Because he's got the jack-o'-lantern on his trunk. And he said, yeah. And I think his plan is to make it a very scary night for Dierry Jean.
Hadn't heard that. So you get those inside things that I don't get.
I might have made that one up a little bit,
It's all right.
Make it a scary
We'll let you off the hook.
But that's what it is. I mean, complete shutout so far for Terence Bud Crawford.
So here in round number 6, the crowd in anticipation of Crawford turning it up a notch. He stays in the southpaw stance, and he started out right-handed, and then he switched in the first round. And when he dropped Jean in the first round, he did that from the southpaw stance, and he came out in the second round has been southpaw the rest of the way. But this is the extraordinary ability of a fighter that can fight a whole fight right-handed or a whole fight left-handed. And so far, the southpaw style here against Dierry Jean is working. Jean just has an inability to land his jab, and as much as he tries to sling that right hand through, most of the time it goes up over the shoulder like that last one did. It falls a little short. because Crawford is very quick on his feet too. He's not giving credit for that, but he's very quick out. He pulls out at an angle. Sometimes he pulls straight back, but when he pulls straight back, he's coming back at you like he is right now. Uppercut on the inside is Crawford, and anytime Crawford does anything, it ignites the crowd. Here he is, loading up shots. Terence Crawford unleashes a barrage on Dierry Jean. Jean tries to come back, landing shots downstairs. He might have given a little adrenaline flow to Dierry. Crawford stays as a southpaw. Dierry is into the fight now. He's obviously got a nice adrenaline flow going, but he wants to hit this guy in the worst way, but he just can't seem to catch him. Every once in a while, he'll catch Terence.
He's caught him a couple times, and you can tell it hasn't phased Terence. And in fact, when he does that, Terence just goes back and tees right back off.
Yeah, every time that Dierry Jean is effective at all, Terence will land about 15 punches after that. Like in this round, you know, Jean hit him with a couple of shots, and then Jean's got a big welt by his right eye, below his right eye. And the bell ends the 6th round, another Bud Crawford round. And Nelson Vasquez of Puerto Rico, as we watch the replay of action from the 6th round, a Bud Crawford highlight reel.
Beautiful double jab, and then comes with the right hand. Slips in an uppercut in there. Right there, beautiful.
All right, so we get ready to move to the second half of the scheduled 12-round WBO World Super Lightweight Championship fight. We're watching top-ranked boxing around the world. Here we go. Crawford to the left of your screen. Name in the front of his trunks, Omaha in the back. Dierry Jean, black with the red trim, red socks. Very good fighter, very quick fighter, but just not effective against the class of Terence Crawford tonight. And with the exception of world title fights with Lamont Peterson and Crawford, Jean has had a very good career at 29-1. Another 29 victories, he had 20 knockouts, but we just can't seem to get any offense going. I don't know if he's trying to bring Crawford in so he can land the right hand or just what he's doing, but his jab totally ineffective. And he himself said, when we talked to him yesterday, you know, my jab has got to be effective. Crawford's taking it away, mostly by positioning. And fighting as a southpaw, Jean needs to throw his right hand down the middle. He can't be powering with that left hand. See, he's not touching him with the jab. Crawford just maneuvers him. And Crawford, remember, only has a ½ inch in reach advantage, and it looks like he's got 3 inches in reach advantage because of the manner in which he turns his body in. Fighting southpaw has been very effective for a man from Omaha. And he lets his straight left hand go down the middle, which is the way for a southpaw to fight an orthodox fighter.
Well, and again, it sends Dierry Jean going backwards. So, I mean, it's hard when Terence Crawford is so skilled and comes so fast. And when he got caught with that shot in the first round that he didn't see coming, I think it totally changed his game plan.
Now, the key word that you said there, Christina, is he's so skilled. And that he is. And, you know, Jean has tried to attack him with the straight right hand on several occasions, and it just has been effective. I can't think of one time where he really nailed him hard with it. He has caught him at glancing blows with the right hand. But with a southpaw, you got to plant that right hand down the middle, and now even Terence squares up, and he squares up, but he throws a hard left hand of his own down the middle, which is what the southpaw has to be able to do. And now with 30 seconds to go, Crawford wants to be sure he's won this round, so let's see if he turns it up a notch here in the closing seconds. 23, 22, 21, 20 seconds to go now in the 7th round of this fight. Crawford takes a light right hand, but it's not enough to give Jean the round. Crawford back on his heels for just a second. And Terence kind of cruised through that round. Not a great round for him, but effective enough to win it. The points continue to pile up, and it's getting to the point now where Jean can't win this fight unless he knocks him out.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. Working that jab. All right?
I mean, I've got it 70-62 after 7 rounds with the knockdown back in the first round. These jabs there, Christina, but it's Bud Crawford that's landing them.
Yeah, it's like more than a jab, because that's also his power hand, which is his right hand. And when he puts that out there as his lead hand, it's obviously worked for him every single round in this fight, and it's why he's stayed southpaw ever since the first round.
I wish he'd come right-handed.
Yeah, let's see it.
I'd just like to see him right-handed.
I mean, he fought his whole last fight right-handed and got Delorme out of there early, too. So you get a sense that whenever Bomac or Red or one of these guys tells him, okay, finish him, maybe he will.
Well, we'll see. We're in the 8th round, and this is about the time he should decide to do that. He stays southpaw again. He kind of cruised through the 7th round. Let's see if he turns it up a notch here in round 8 and really goes after it. He really doesn't have to. All he has to do is just continue like this, and it's a very nice win going this way for him. But he wants to be a crowd pleaser here in Omaha, and in order to do that, he's got to turn it up a notch. Remember, Jean is a guy with 29 victories and only 1 loss, and he's got 20 knockouts. This guy is a worthy opponent for Crawford, and Crawford is making him look like an amateur. That's how good Terence Crawford really is. It's not that Jean doesn't want to fight, but he just can't seem to catch up with him with whatever he tries. And that has to do with the defensive abilities, the quickness of Crawford. You see, Jean continues to, try to circle around, get himself in position. But Crawford just knows how to cut him off and stop that. Sometimes he's got this big wide stance like he has right now. Other times he closes up and he'll drive off that back foot. There's a hard jab again, which is, Christina pointed out, is a punch, and then he nails him with a straight left hand, which is the power shot when he's in the southpaw style. Rolls his shoulders right to left, back in front of him. He slung that left hand out there that time. Now he has a bit of a flow going to him now, a fluidity of motion as Crawford. He's in like second gear right now with 1 minute and 13 seconds to go in this round, like he wants to do something spectacular soon. There's the jab, and the jab again. Tries to get back upstairs with the left hand to the head. Since the first round, Crawford hasn't been able to drop this guy.
Well, I'd like to maybe see in this next round, if we get to it, some more body work from Terence. He's done a lot of the jabbing to the head and a lot of work to the head. We talked about getting him down or out. Let's see him throw some of those to the body.
He almost totally going upstairs. Every once in a while, he'll drop down. But he's sort of taking what Jean will give him. And Jean has got the left hand down. Oh, he caught Crawford with a solid right hand. Crawford shakes his head no, which is usually indicative, yeah, you did catch me. Now watch Crawford turn it up a notch. You hit me, you're going to pay, says Crawford. Oh, you caught again! For the second time, Crawford got clipped. He felt those 2 punches, and it really gets an adrenaline flow going. And what a battle! Tony Weeks thought it was the bell. He was about to stop the fight. Same thing happened to Pat Russell a few weeks ago in a fight involving Tim Bradford. And Tony Weeks thought that the clapper was the bell and was moving in to stop the round, but eventually realized, no, it wasn't. The guy with the bell indicated that. So with all the noise in the arena, Tony was caught off guard. And there's a cut there in the right eyelid. Crawford hit. In the process, while Crawford was getting hit a couple of times, Jean got cut in the right eyelid in this 8th round. If ever there was a round that anybody could give to Jean, it might be that round, so I'll give him that round because he clipped him pretty hard. That's generous on my part, though.
I still think it was a Terence Crawford round.
And you may be right, because Crawford actually did more damage to him by scoring the cut to the right eye of Dierry Jean. And Crawford probably did more damage in the round, but if there were rounds that the judges, and remember, I'm trying to kind of guess how the judges might be scoring this, so that's the only reason I did it that way.
Well, that was the round where he hit him with the cleanest, most accurate shots.
Yeah, but it only happened twice.
Twice, yeah,
And
exactly.
Terence probably landed 10 or 12. But we're in round number 9, and to be sure, Crawford is out in front in this fight. And there is a cut, a slit in the right eyelid of Dierry Jean. Crawford trying to put pressure, stays in the southpaw stance. Jean holds that left hand out of the slinging shot. The right hand in the last round found a home twice off the right hand of Dierry Jean. Crawford pounds him with the right hand right back. Crawford stays southpaw. Maneuvers his foot to the outside to be in position to land the right hand. And there's the left hand straight down the middle. Bounces the right hand off the lower eye of Jean. Jean sets up in front of him. Here's Crawford coming in now. Turns it up with a nice combination of punches. Right hand and left hand for the southpaw.
You just get the sense that the crowd's kind of on the edge of their seat, right? Like they're just waiting for
They're waiting for an
something to happen.
explosion.
They're waiting for that top to pop off the can.
Exactly. We're in the 9th round. Crawford cruising along here, outscoring Dierry Jean. Crawford continues to jab, an effective jab. Scoring at least, where Jean just hasn't been effective with his jab at all tonight, and it's affected his entire fight. But you may be right what you said. When he got clipped in that first round, changed the whole fight plan and idea for this guy. Oh, he gets dropped. Couple of shots. He's claiming he got hit by the back of the head. But Tony gives him the count of 5 and 6. He's got to get up 7 and 8. And he staggers a little bit at 9. He may well have got hit behind the head, but that's not Tony's call at that stage. You got to get up. So that is scored as the second knockdown of the fight.
See them kick shot?
We'll show you that. We got a nice shot of that on the overhead. Exactly what happened. He caught him behind the ear all right. And again, I'd like to see that one more time in that last one. And we will.
That one was clean.
Yeah.
Maybe
and that one, yeah.
But he looked like he was already somewhat kind of bent down or going down.
Well, he better not have been down. But on the way down, and they addressed that cut by the right eye. Nonetheless, it's a 10-8 round. I have it 80-89, and it might even be further apart because I'm not convinced that that 8th round that I gave to Crawford was the right way to go. That I gave to Jean. If he won any round, he won that one, but I'm not 100% behind my conviction on that scoring of that round. But it's academic because with 3 rounds to go, Crawford's beating this guy up right now. And he slings shots. He's a clean punches. Now Tony Weeks moves into position. If he sees a lot more clean punches, he's not going to let Bud Crawford totally beat this guy up. Crawford stays southpaw. His shots to the body. He wanted body shots. There's some hard body shots, Christina. He landed him when he wanted to try to get those arms down. Crawford has got another adrenaline flow going now. He wants to take him out. Jean realizes that he was stung at the end of that last round. Whether it was behind the ear or a clean blow, it doesn't make any difference. He was knocked out. And he may have, the first punch was a legal blow. The second punch might have been illegal, but we didn't have a real clean replay of it. But Crawford is landing some real good shots here now. Left hand, right hand, right hand. Here he is fighting as an orthodox fighter now, is Crawford, and he's going after him as a right-handed fighter. Now he switches half southpaw, half right-handed. He's in the southpaw stance, and he goes head-hunting with the right hand. He switches back and forth, goes Crawford. That's the first time we've seen him go from left to right, and now he's back left-handed again. But he was really effective fighting as a right-handed fighter.
Mike Muffa, Dierry Jean's trainer, came up with the towel in his hand up to the top of the ring, and Dierry told him no, no. So keep a close look on if the blue corner of Dierry Jean may be looking to stop the fight.
Well, he really should stop the fight because he's not going to win the fight and he's getting pounded. But if, in fact, an official steps up on the apron, the fight should be over. There should be an inspector over there to stop the fight. Hard shot again, taken on the right side of the head of Dierry Jean. Jean trying to get the flow going through those legs, but he's taking a lot of punishment in this round. Jean is a competitor, and he doesn't want his corner man to stop this fight. It's a hang in there and just see if he can do anything to land the shot on Terence Crawford. Crawford, when he put that last assault on, was actually fighting as a orthodox fighter, and here he is. Oh, he drops him into the ropes, and that's it. Tony Weeks stops the fight. It's all over. Accumulation of punches, and that's enough. Terence Crawford stops Dierry Jean and defends his WBO Super Lightweight Championship of the World right here in Omaha. Local network here to interview Crawford first, and then we'll have him. Look at this finishing, these finishing blows. There's a lot of unanswered punches, and Tony's looking in there. See how much more punishment he wants this guy to take. And he's really out on his feet. Crawford just finishing
turns
with clean blows, and then he falls into the ropes, which is really a knockdown again.
At 2 minutes, 30 seconds of round number 10, referee Tony Weeks calls a halt to this contest. The winner by TKO victory, still WBO Super Lightweight World Champion, the undefeated fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, Terence